Hello friends, and welcome back to the horror section. This is going to be a review video for Campfire Tales. And this is one that I asked the horror man about if it was any good, because I was going to get it from a friend, and he said it was a pretty good one and kind of recommended it to me, so I picked it up. And I thought this was a pretty good movie. It's kind of an anthology movie, it's got a few stories and they kind of wrap around and all the way through the movie. It's a pretty cool one. And it's sort of, how can I start out? Well, it kind of goes black and white at first. You see some people at Lover's Lane, I guess you could say. These two. And a bunch of crazy stuff starts happening outside the car. Well, suddenly, they drive off or whatever. When the guy gets in town, he stops for something to eat, and he looks, and there's like a hand with a hook on. It's like hooked into his car, and that's how the movie kind of starts. And then it just goes to these kids that are more the main people. They're driving around kind of fast on a kind of curvy road. And they crash or whatever, and they get up and walk up, and they're looking for help. So they can't really find anything, so they stop kind of in a spot that looks like an old church maybe or something. They start a fire there, and they kind of tell some scary tales or whatever. And I believe the first one is about, it's about people that go camping in like a big RV, and when they go camping, they see this, they kind of stop somewhere because they're going to go into like this haunted cave, but they never make it there because they hear some rustling outside, and there's a guy, and he kind of warns them of stuff that happens in the night or whatever. Of course, they don't believe him. He tells them to drive on, get to the road and go. Well, they drive on and keep going, and they run out of gas, and all of a sudden something kind of gets the guy, and something kind of goes after him. And I don't want to tell too much about it because this is an interesting movie. It's kind of fun. But I kind of leave that one at that one. And then later on, they tell another tale. And this one's this young girl. There's a guy that's kind of after her and stalking her through the house. And she's there alone. And he's kind of after her. So that's sort of that tale. That one's a little bit short. It's a pretty cool one at the end. I've heard that one before. I thought it was pretty cool the way they ended it. It was like just a little girl and this guy's after her or whatever. But the way they ended it was pretty cool. And, they keep telling more tales. Well, they tell this one about this guy that's riding on a motorcycle, and he stops at this house, and it's raining real bad. And his motorcycle's kind of broke down, so he stops there and goes into this house, and he sees this girl she can't talk. She always writes on a chalkboard, and all these weird images start happening and stuff, all these flashbacks and stuff like that. And he tries to save her from this guy that's coming after her. And I won't go into that one. I don't want to give too much away of each one of these. All of them are pretty interesting, the little stories that they tell. Well, then they wrap around to these people that are telling the tales, and they're waiting there hoping the police will come, and finally the police come. And that's when it kind of wraps around, and the end just throws me for a loop. And I'm not going to tell anything about the end, but pretty much those people, the whole movie, the wraparound part is these kids that, they were in the car wreck. There's 4 of them, and they're telling these stories that I've already told about. And of course, they're waiting for help. And suddenly when help gets there, that's when the movie kind of flips on its ear, and I didn't expect it the way they ended it. When they ended it, it was so great the way they ended it. I don't really want to give it away because I want y'all guys to watch this. If you've seen this movie, please, say if you like the ending or not down in the comments. I thought it was pretty cool the way they ended it. It kind of linked everything together, linked all the stories sort of together, and it even ended real cool. And then they even had a little bit of a scene at the very end to link the first one together. So I just thought it was a really cool movie. I like how all the stories all the little stories were cool. And then the main story, the people telling the tales, it kind of wrapped and showed how all the other tales kind of went with the main one. So like I said, I thought it was a pretty cool, I guess you'd say, anthology. I really enjoyed it. And like I said, I'd like to thank the Horror Man for kind of recommending me this because it was a really good one. I really enjoyed it. Thought it was a fun one. Me and my wife actually watched it when we got done. She really enjoyed it too. I thought it was a cool one. I thought it was just neat how this, like, all the different stories kind of got it. It showed why all the stories sort of were there in the movie. I don't want to give anything away to the movie, but like I said, I just wanted to kind of tell you a little bit about it. I kind of gave a little bit about what each tale was, but I didn't give the ending to it because there were some pretty cool ones in there, and I just didn't want to give everything away, but I thought the movie was pretty cool. So I guess that'll be my review for Campfire Tales. I really enjoyed it. Thought it was a fun one. And like I said, Horror Man, thank you for recommending this one to me. And I really enjoyed it. Thought it was fun. Thought it was a cool movie. So if you can find this one and you like anthologies and short stories inside a big movie, then check this one out. I believe you can watch this one on YouTube here. I'm not for sure, but at least check out the trailer. So until next time, have a good one and see you.